UFC's back in Abu Dhabi for honestly one of the best fight nights of the year. We got two former champions on it, two former title challengers, and three top 10 matchups all on the main card. Let's get into it. First fight of the night, we got Joel Alvarez taking on Elvis Brener. Alvarez is 20-3. That's 5-2 in the UFC. Brener is 16-4. That's 3-1 in the UFC. Alvarez has won 4 of his last 5 and 5 of his last 6. Not too active, though. He's only had 6 fights in the last 5 years. Brener has won 5 of his last 6 as well. Did lose his last fight, though. Alvarez is 31 years old. Brener is 26. I'm riding with Joel Alvarez here, minus 122. His only loss in his last 6 fights came to Arman Sarukian, and all 5 of his UFC wins have come by finish. And he's going to have over a 4-inch reach advantage in this fight. I just think he's got more ways to get it done. I'm riding with Joel Alvarez. If you guys are looking for anything else to take the over 1.5, it's minus 175. So you're going to have to parlay it with something. Alvarez only hit it twice in his 7 UFC fights. Brener, though, has hit it in 3 of his 4 UFC fights. So solid chance of that hitting. No other props have dropped for this yet. But, Brener by KO. It's not available yet. But his last 2 wins have come by KO, and Alvarez has been KO'd in 2 of his 3 career losses, including his last loss. But right now, you can take Brener money line. That is available, plus 110. Definitely value on him as the dog, even though I'm going against him. And Alvarez by finish is another good prop when it eventually drops. All 20 of his career wins have come by finish, but Brener's never been finished, so that's the risk there. Next fight of the night, we got Mackenzie Dern taking on Loopy Godinez, aka Loopy. Dern is 13-5. That's 8-5 in the UFC. Godinez is 12-4. That's 7-4 in the UFC. Dern has lost 3 of her last 5, including 2 in a row, but all 3 of those losses did come to top 5 strawweights. Godinez has won 4 of her last 5, did lose her last fight to Jandiroba, but still on a pretty good streak. Dern is 31. Loopy is 30. I'm riding with Mackenzie Dern here, minus 125. I'm going to actually parlay it with Joel Alvarez money line, and that gets us plus 228. I like Dern to bounce back here. She didn't look great in her last fight, but I feel like she's fought the better competition. Loopy's only fought 3 currently ranked strawweights in her 11 UFC fights. Dern's fought 7 currently ranked strawweights in her 13 UFC fights, and all 7 of them are currently in the top 10. So she's definitely fought the better competition. Feel like she's got more ways to get it done. Looking for anything else to take? Dern by decision, plus 235. Only 6 of her 13 wins have come by decision, but 3 of her last 4 wins are by decision, including her last 2 wins. And Dern, yes, known for her submissions, but Loopy's never been finished. All 4 of her career losses have come by decision. So definitely value there. If you're on the Loopy side or you want to just play it safe, the over 2.5, minus 225, got to parlay it with something. But Dern's hit it in 8 of her 13 UFC fights. She has also hit it in 5 of her last 6. Loopy's hit it in 9 of her 11 UFC fights. Next fight of the night, we got Tony Ferguson, El Kukoi, taking on the Maverick, Michael Chiesa. So Tony's 25-10. That's 15-8 in the UFC. Chiesa is 16-7. That's 11-7 in the UFC. Tony, he's lost 7 in a row, including 4 by finish, and he has not won a fight in 5 years. Chiesa, better, but not much better. Chiesa's lost 3 in a row, 2 of them by sub, and he hasn't won a fight in 3 years. Tony's 40 years old. Chiesa's 36. All right, guys. I'm riding with Tony Ferguson here. It's plus 425, and that's probably the only reason I'm riding. I don't blame anyone if you don't want to tail this bet. Obviously, he's lost 7 in a row, but let me try and sell you on it. 5 of those losses came to currently ranked lightweights. The 6th came to Paddy the Baddy, who should be ranked by this time tomorrow. And the 7th came to Nate Diaz. Really not the worst losses. And 4 of those 7 opponents are in the top 7 at lightweight right now. So he's losing to the best of the best. Chiesa's lost 3 in a row. 2 of those came by Darce. Guess what Tony's favorite fucking submission is, man? The Darce. He's got 3 of them in the UFC, and 2 of his last 3 submission wins were by Darce. All right, there's a path here. I'm telling you, there's a path. Mark my word. I'm going to eat crow or, look great. Either way. Looking for anything else to take? Chiesa by decision, probably most likely, plus 125. His last 3 wins have come by decision. 5 of Tony's 10 career losses are by decision, including his last fight. Chiesa by sub is plus 150. 10 of his 16 wins are by sub. That's 63%. And Tony's been subbed 3 times, including 2 of his last 3 fights. And the over 2.5, it's minus 130. Throw it in a parlay. Tony's hit it in 12 of 23 UFC fights. Chiesa's only hit it in 6 of 18, but that's still 44% of their combined UFC fights have hit the over 2.5. Next fight of the night, we got Chito Vera taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. So Vera's 23-9-1. That's 15-6 in the UFC. Figgy is 23-3-1. That's 12-3-1 in the UFC. Chito's won 3 of his last 5. Those 2 losses did come to the champ and the number 2 ranked fighter who's headlining this card. Deiveson Figueiredo has also won 3 of his last 5. Both of those losses did come to Brandon Moreno, but also one of those wins came to Brandon Moreno. Either way, he's fought Brandon Moreno fucking 4 times. He's 2-0 at bantamweight right now in this current streak. Vera is 31. Figgy is 36. I'm going to play it safe here. What I think is safe. Over 1.5 rounds, minus 410. I'm going to parlay it. Chito's hit the over 1.5 in 18 of his 23 UFC fights, including 8 in a row. Figgy's hit the over 1.5 in 12 of his 16 UFC fights, including 6 in a row. That's 77% of their combined fights. Figgy by decision is minus 135. If you're looking for anything else to take, parlay it. Only 5 of his 23 career wins by decision, but 2 of his last 3 wins are by decision. And Chito's never been finished. All 9 of his career losses have come by decision. If you guys are high on Chito, man, take him as a dog, plus 145. Since 2018, he's only lost to top 5 guys at bantamweight, and he's always a live dog late in a fight. He's losing, dude. 18 of his 23 wins have come by finish. Figgy's been finished in 2 of his 3 career losses, and Chito's going to be the naturally bigger guy, more natural bantamweight, going to have the height and reach advantage. Co-main event, we got Shara Magomedov taking on Michał Oleksiejczuk. So Shara Bullet, he's 13-0, 2-0 in the UFC. Oleksiejczuk is 19-8 with 1 no contest. That is 7-6 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Magomedov is undefeated, so he's obviously on a 13-fight win streak. 11 of those have come by finish. Oleksiejczuk has lost 3 of his last 5. All 5 of those ended by finish. Shara Bullet's 30 years old. Oleksiejczuk still only 29. I'm going to take fight does not go the distance here. It's minus 215. Going to parlay it. Get to it later. 11 of Shara's 13 career fights have not gone the distance, and 22 of Oleksiejczuk's 28 career fights have not gone the distance. That's 80% combined. So definitely a good chance of that happening. Looking for anything else to take? Shara Bullet by KO. It's minus 115. Already mentioned 11 of his 13 career wins have come by KO. And Oleksiejczuk's been KO'd before. You think Oleksiejczuk's going to win? Hop on him as a dog, man. Plus 210. He's got heavy hands. His last 4 wins are by knockout. 5 of his 6 UFC wins are by knockout. More than twice the amount of fights than Shara Bullet. And he was subbed in his last 3 losses, but Shara Bullet's got 0 submission wins. There's a path there, I'm telling you. Main event, we got Cory Sandhagen taking on Umar Nurmagomedov. Cory's 17-4. That's 10-3 in the UFC, but all 3 of those losses to top 3 guys at the time that they fought. Umar 17-0, 5-0 in the UFC. 3 of those 5 have come by finish. Cory's won 3 in a row, all to top 10 guys. Umar's undefeated, so he's won 17 in a row, 9 of those by finish. Cory is 32. Umar still only 28 years old. I'm going to take the over 2.5 here. It's minus 295. I'm parlaying it with the over 1.5 in the Chito Figgy fight. And the fight does not go the distance in the Shara Bullet Oleksiejczuk fight. All 3 of those together, it's plus 144. Cory's hit the over 2.5 in 7 of his 13 UFC fights, and he's hit it in 5 straight fights. Umar's only hit it in 2 of his 5 UFC fights, but 8 of his 17 career fights have hit it. And I like Cory to last long in this fight. If not, maybe pull up the upset. So I like this one to go long over 2.5. Feel good with that. Looking for anything else to take? Umar by sub. 7 of his 17 wins have come by sub, and Cory's been sub before. So definitely a chance there. It's plus 265. Otherwise, Umar by decision is plus 125. 8 of his 17 wins have come by decision, and 3 of Cory's 4 career losses have come by decision. Otherwise, Sandhagen as a dog, man, plus 240. It's only lost to the best, and Umar may be of that ilk, but we yet to see.
I'm worth 100,000 like Woodrow. When a ball call me Wilson, going overboard at the Hilton.